So I've actually been asked this question recently. Is marriage still relevant? Should anyone consider getting married? And it's funny because there's a book out, If You're in My Office, It's Too Late by James Sexton. And he talks about, 56% of marriages fail. And another 20% are estimated to be marriages where they've stayed together even though they don't love each other. There's no real relationship. It's for the kids, which, if you're in one of those situations, you're really harming your kids, quite honestly. So his thing is, it's a technology that's broken, it has a 76% failure rate. And when you think about it that way, it's like, holy cow. He goes, would you go skydiving if the parachutes had a 76% failure rate? And the reality is, times have changed, and I think you need to make adjustments when it comes to marriage. So, as someone who is divorced, would I consider getting married again? Yes. Would I require a prenup? Yes, because I have assets. And a lot of people go, well, that's just planning on the marriage failing. Bullshit. What it's doing is not allowing an idiot judge to decide who gets my stuff. Because of what? An arbitrary, you've lived together this long or been married this long or whatever it is. No, it has nothing to do with planning for the marriage to fail. It's deciding ahead of time, if for some reason you decide that you two are not going to stay married, this is how it plays out. So if you are younger and you want to have family and kids, I think when there's equal lack of assets, I think there's no problem with getting married. I think you need to understand as a man that you have to continue to date your wife. This is one of the leading causes of divorce. And you need to continue to spend time with your friends, because that's the man she fell in love with. If you stop dating her and you become the dad and provider and you don't, you lose yourself, you become disconnected, you're not a whole and complete man. This is part of the problems we see all the time when it comes to marriages. Now, myself, in my later 50s, not quite mid 50s anymore, I'm not going to have any kids, so the kids aren't the issue. Again, it's just a question of how would you handle assets in the event the marriage didn't survive. But I also now have learned, I'm very much, if you'd have asked me after the marriage ended all those years ago to my kid's mom, I'd have said she was 60% at fault, maybe 70. But I was also angry and somewhat ignorant. Now it's easy 50-50 or 55-60% on me because I was emotionally deep as the kiddie pool. But I also know, and this is what we teach men, how to show up as an open-hearted, loving, grounded, confident man. We don't have that course that we teach young men when they get married. And so, my question is why shouldn't you get married if you are approaching it properly? What are your thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts on a lot of the things you said, but I don't want to make it too long of a video.
Okay.
One of the things that crossed my mind is on the prenup issue. Not only are you protecting your own things, but for me, because we've had that discussion, for me, there was reassurance in it. Knowing that I wasn't going to get taken advantage of and be left with nothing in the case of a divorce. Like, left with destitute and living in my car kind of thing.
Yeah.
There was reassurance there.
The reality is, for lack of a better phrase, I'm siloing
Yeah.
what is already in my possession.
Yes.
And really, then we're going to build together.
Yeah.
And that, you know, will be a huge kingdom rivaling Kevin Costner and, you know, his divorce.
Wait. Hold on. Because we all know that the big gossip names right now have nothing to do with Kevin Costner. It's Kelsey and Swift.
Well.
And do you think that if it's not all just a PR stunt,
yeah,
right? If they got married, do you think she wouldn't protect her 3 times greater than his net worth?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you have a disparity in assets to either partner,
yeah,
you need a prenup. If there's a family that's kind of fucked up on one side, you need a prenup. If it is not your first marriage and you have any assets, you know, you have a collectible car, you need a prenup. Mm-hmm. Okay.
One of the other things that struck me while you were talking was, you know, the question of, I had a total moment there.
The feminine.
Having an ADHD moment. I'll come back to it. It'll come back to me at some point.
I'm sure it will when we're done filming.
Exactly. It was about. Oh, did it go away again? Oh my God, it's been a long day. It's like after 9. I'm tired. I'm old and I'm tired.
You're not old. You're middle aged.
I'm middle aged. I am. You're old.
So, but it's funny because I've had somebody say, "Oh, I thought you guys were married because it's so obvious you love each other." Nope. Although what? Okay, so there might have been a proposal last weekend.
Yeah.
In the Rocky Mountain National Park, and there will be a wedding next May. And yes, there will be a prenup.
You know, you've one of the main questions of your video here has been is marriage obsolete? And it made me think of the way you talk to guys about you have to do it for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, a lot of times I hear you talk about, well, that's not the right reason. That's not the right reason. And I remember asking you, what are the right reasons?
And what did I say?
I think I asked more like, what were your reasons? And you told me that you wanted to make sure I was taken care of.
Not just because I loved you.
Yeah.
We make a pretty great team. And you can look back on videos. I don't believe in soulmates. That's bullshit that Disney made up. Okay? But when you find one of your 24,744,317 amazing matches, and you work to grow the connection and the intimacy and the relationship, then it's okay to put a ring on it. So,
even if you're obsolete in your late 50s.
You know, I almost said, maybe I'm the obsolete one. I'm not obsolete, so marriage can't be obsolete. So, you have to approach it not just loving someone isn't enough.
Yeah.
And you don't marry everyone you love. So, marriage is not obsolete, but you have to be smart about it. You have to have the right partner. You have to have a way to select your partners and weed out the people who will ruin your life later on.
And sometimes be willing to have tough conversations.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of hard to get too angry about a prenup conversation when you're laying naked in bed.
Well, yeah. It's my tip is have them when you're naked in bed. Makes them a lot easier. You can use distractive modes, you know. And then you asked me when I get it drafted, you asked, should I have this looked at by an attorney? Yeah. And what did I say?
Absolutely, and I'll even give you money to go do it.
Yeah. It's like, go have it looked at. So, all right. A little longer than usual. But we have a little surprise announcement at the end. Have a great week, guys, and we'll see you next time.